If you could picture a scenario where escape seems impossible, you're faced with unsurmountable challenges, and when you look ahead, you're still far behind. Others say it's only going to get tougher, and no matter what you do, nothing seems enough. In Bleach, the clash between Ichigo Kurosaki and Renji Abarai represents a battle of wills, instincts, but it is also about something much deeper within us, much more troubling. When Ichigo enters the Soul Society, he's not just rescuing Rukia, he's trespassing into the world of the Shinigami born and bred to kill. But Renji Abarai isn't just any Shinigami. He's the lieutenant of one of the 12 squads that are running Soul Society, and he blames Ichigo for putting his best friend in the trouble she's in. To Ichigo, however, Rukia is someone who saved his life at the beginning by giving him the powers of the Shinigami. And because of this, he vows to save her from the consequences of her actions. Both Renji and Ichigo have the same goal in mind, to save Rukia. On paper, it seems noble. But as we soon find out, in this world, fighting is not about showing hard. It's about justice. It's about commitment and the resolve to kill before you're killed. And no one embodies that more than Renji at this point. Renji, who once bled with Ichigo in the real world, now stands unflinching, ready to end him in the Serte. There are no warnings this time, no holding back. In contrast, Ichigo is far more of a newbie. He's been in fights, sure, and he's already won against strong opponents, but lurking beneath the strong protagonist are huge internal conflicts. There are people whose lives depend on him. He has to protect his friends in an alien territory of enemies with unimaginable power, but he also must save a life. Now, here's a question. What does it take to save a life? Is it power? Better weapons? Luck? And what if everything fails? What if your feet betray you? What if you lose your weapon and suddenly the odds don't favor you anymore? The odds, since the start, favor Renji. Every move Renji makes is a statement. You're not ready. You're not one of us. You're not going to leave here alive. At one point, however, Ichigo begins to understand the pattern of Renji's attacks. Suddenly, all his training seems to make sense. He's finally recognized a weakness he can exploit, so he lunges forward, smelling victory, putting all his power into one final blow, and then nothing. Renji steps aside and counters, destroying Ichigo's strategy. This is a cosmic joke. And in that moment, Ichigo realizes there's no clever trick when you're battling great odds. Plans can only get you so far. In reality, survival isn't just based on morals and doing what's right. It is about doing whatever it takes. But what does it take to win? After the fight, Hanataro, Ichigo's unintended companion from the healer squad, notes that something shielded Ichigo from Renji's blade, allowing him to live despite being heavily injured, and that was the mask of a hollow. In Bleach, hollows are spirits that do not cross over to the world of the dead. Much like resentments and bad omens, they fester in the world of the living, preying on other souls to keep going on. The concept of a hollow is of the shadow self, that Carl Jung describes as part of our psyche, a part of our collective unconscious containing everything that we fear and loathe about ourselves. The mask first came about when Ichigo attempted to get his Shinigami powers back after he lost them, thanks to Byakuya. It threatened to consume him in Kisuke Urahara's basement. It was necessary for Ichigo to overcome it, to get his powers back. Overcome your monster, and you'll get your power back. This mask is Ichigo's shadow, the dark side of his soul that doesn't hesitate, the part that doesn't flinch when it's time to kill to survive. Hanataro notices that when saved Ichigo seemed to be the same mask that appeared on Ichigo from that time. But in Abarai's battle, Ichigo doesn't summon the mask consciously, and yet it saves him, appearing out of thin air. So, to save oneself, to live, integrating with one's shadow is necessary. Without it, one cannot survive atrocities. And after all, as Ichigo learned, the resolve to kill is not just necessary, it is a requirement to win. You've got to have resolve, and for that, You would have to be willing to go all the way to kill. We all face moments like Ichigo, moments where the odds are stacked, where escape isn't an option, not necessarily with swords, but with life. Maybe it's a toxic relationship, a failing career, a health crisis, or even a mental battle you don't tell anyone about. You try, you endure, you think it'll get better, but often we learn that there's no way out, only a way through. That's where the shadow matters. We all have instincts we're ashamed of: anger, rage, selfishness, brutal honesty. But when used with awareness, that shadow has power. It has resolve. It has the ability to draw boundaries, to stand tall when no one else will, to survive. In the aftermath of the battle, Ichigo gains the prerequisite to win against true danger, and from here on out, this resolve becomes the key to Ichigo's further progress. But handling the shadow inside himself is another thing. That is a conflict that remains. That is the other side of the will to survive, the will to kill. We see Ichigo, the boy who once hesitated, now walking with death at his side. The hollow doesn't speak at this point. It just acts. It shields Ichigo, showing him that survival isn't about being pure. It's about being whole. Light and shadow, courage and aggression, mercy and ruthlessness. When Ichigo defeats Renji, it's not because he's stronger. It's because he's complete. He's made peace with the instinct to survive, even if it means embracing the part of himself he doesn't fully understand. And this theme is carried out throughout the entire series. So, what can one learn from Ichigo's battle with Renji? You cannot win with one side pinned to your pre-existing concepts of the world. There's always something unknown ahead. You will face things that want to break you, that want to see you fall, that don't really care about how good your heart is. And when that happens, you need more than hope or kindness. You need to embrace the part of you that doesn't want to harm or be harmed, and you need to show that part that while fear is understandable, you will have to do things that you never wanted to survive, to transform. Embrace your shadow without letting it consume you. Because in the world of Bleach and in our world, the will to fight and the resolve to kill what's killing you might just be the reason you live.